Greetings, Flesh Wound Horror freaks, and welcome to Flesh Wound Horror Live. I'm Flesh Wound Dan, joined by producer Todd.
Good evening.
And Mike Kruger.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
And soon, very soon, Pugs Dread making his return.
Dan is upset and also simultaneously relieved he was not here in time for the Blackening.
Probably better that he was not. I'm going to just say probably.
Why is that, Dan?
He was not.
Why is that?
Pugs can be a little bit controversial with certain things, and yeah.
Spoiler, Pugs, it was better than Axum. We'll just start there. I think every movie tonight was better.
Yeah, not a fucking high bar to hit, sir.
I know.
Yeah, it's just like at least our movie didn't give you herpes. I mean, okay, yeah, I kind of expected more than that, but
what movie would give you herpes though? Like,
ooh,
Cruising,
Sunny Side Up.
Oh no, dude, that's AIDS. But
Sunny Side Up. That would be that has the power to transcend through the screen and
I'm not even arguing with you on this one, Dan.
And shout out Swaggy Orc. You will get Pugs before 2024. Before 2024.
I'm gonna say the mass mutilator would give you AIDS. Or not wait, what was it? Herpes, right?
Yes.
Herpes. Okay.
Herpes.
Close enough.
We don't want to talk about what gives you syphilis though.
You could ask the body about that.
Well, I'll get to see Pugs at least this Saturday.
Yeah.
So he will be on the channel. We'll do something.
I keep forgetting. Yeah, you guys get to be there live. I'm jealous, but I will be watching and cheering along on streaming. We'll have to talk soon because I'm trying to decide when I can get back there again. But I will be back for XPW live soon.
Yeah, I gotta plan better so I can be out there too and give you those German suplexes you've been long overdue for fucking years.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the new thing. It's going to get to a subscriber count and watch Dan get suplexed by Kruger.
And you know what? Next time Dan's out here, it'll probably be in the new XPW venue in LA proper.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's true. That's true. I think no matter when I come at that point.
I think right now I haven't listened to tonight. Shit, I haven't listened to last night's show. I've been working too much. So yeah,
this is true.
Last night I heard it was next show or one of the show. I heard it's coming up.
Yeah, he didn't announce anything on yesterday's show, but
okay.
At least if he did, it was like the last 10 minutes. I missed out on the last 10, but okay. Yeah. So we do got some news bits to cover today, though. So do we want to start with real life news or horror news?
Let's close with some real life. Let's
close with the real life, because that's an interesting story.
All right, well, just
well,
fuck me too, then.
I wasn't sure if that was.
I was fucking talking, and you talked over me. You fuck.
I think he's got a bit of a delay.
All right. Well, just David Cronenberg wrapped up filming on his new horror movie called The Shrouds, and the synopsis is: Karsh, an innovative businessman and grieving widower, builds a device to connect with the dead inside a burial shroud. So, sounds pretty fucking cool. Anything involving David Cronenberg, I'm always all over. And Brandon Cronenberg, for that matter. They're definitely my favorite working director family in horror right now. So it's gonna be. I'm just glad that he's back at it. Hopefully he keeps shooting these out because he is getting up there in age. So who knows how much longer we're gonna have David Cronenberg around as a horror director or just a director in general. But while he's still here, I say give the man all the fucking money to create his nightmarish visions, because if you look at his track record, almost every single one has been a fucking home run, at least for me. So
Yeah, I always worry
You
like
know-
film might be the last. I'm always nervous about that. But
You know, this is that's Dan's second favorite directing father-son duo.
What's the first?
Oh, of course, the Landises.
oh,
All right.
yeah. Well, like I said, the one director with the real body count. So there is that. There is that.
Yet he's never directed a body count music video. It seems like that should have happened.
Oh my god.
There was a funny meme years ago where, you know, it was like, Jason, I've killed X amount of people. Freddy, I've killed X amount of people. And then it's just John Landis, bitch, please. So yeah, one bit of news that I did have. Full Moon. Yeah, well, yeah, 2 and 1 for this one. But Full Moon Horror, we are getting the world premiere of the Primevals at Fantasia International Film Fest. Very excited if you're a Full Moon fan, Full Moon Empire fan. You've been waiting for this forever.
Yeah, so what's the give me the backstory, because I had never heard about it until today, and then I watched that trailer and I just had about 3 orgasms. So
unfinished film. It just seemed like something that just was never gonna happen, at least in any kind of finished form.
How long ago was the original production?
I don't remember the exact year, since it was, I mean, technically it'll be a 2023 film, I assume, since it's only completed.
But I want to say it was late 80s, because it was still Empire when it was doing, because it was part of an anthology, Pulse Pounders. That was with that, what's now known as Transfers 1.5. What was the third one, or the second one, Dan?
The Jeffrey Combs thing.
Oh, the evil clergyman.
Evil clergyman, yeah.
And this, it was 3 parts of an anthology, and they've been restoring them over the years. Obviously, Primevals has taken the longest for obvious reasons.
Yeah, we got Clergyman like 5 years ago now, something like that, on DVD at least. So very excited about that.
Ben said Ben talked about it during the TFW panel. It was around when Robot Jocks came out.
Okay, that makes sense. Actually, yeah, because he was using them. They were doing this.
That was early 90s, right?
Yeah. So that would have been like on the cusp of Full Moon.
Sweet. Well, I'm very much looking forward to it as just being a stop motion fan. You know, we don't get a lot of newer stop motion movies, even though over the last couple of years, you know, we got Pinocchio, we got Mad God, but I'm all for this, and hopefully we get a couple. Maybe this inspires other people to go out and make their own stop motion efforts. We did get Cocaine Shark this year, though, even though that wasn't great. I appreciated the stop motion creatures.
Yeah, you still got Brett Piper out there doing it, so once in a while, but bigger projects always nice.
This is still just 30 minutes, I'm guessing. They didn't somehow turn it into a feature, did they?
I think it's a feature.
Okay, I think
now, I don't have that answer, but I know
I'm pretty sure it's not, but
okay.
Full Moon, I'm
kind of hoping not, because when you have reshoots and stuff from different time periods, track record on that usually isn't great. But regardless, I'll be there to watch it whenever it comes out on the streaming service.
Yeah, Evil Clergyman was really good, so I'm excited for it. Also,
and just like fuck you, Transfers 1.5 City of Angels.
That's good too.
Yeah,
but Evil Clergyman's a little better.
Yeah, but you're acting like that's a piece of shit. And we're talking about Pulse Panders every time you leave it out, like it isn't part of it.
I don't know if it was technically Pulse Pounders at that point.
It was.
It was okay. I couldn't remember if that was the original. Yeah,
that was the anthology that was going to have all 3.
Okay, and that was it. Also used later. Also in Full Moon Horror news, Blood Dolls officially coming to Blu-ray. No date yet. We were excited about that one. We talked about it in some of our Full Moon shows in the past. Like, that late 90s period, and Blood Dolls is so much fun. I have over in the other room the Blood Dolls pimp figure that they put out years ago. I love that movie. I'm really, really happy that it's coming out. When we had Hideous, Head of the Family, it just makes sense that Blood Dolls was going to be. I
still need to watch those movies. I've had them in my fucking collection for like 3 years now.
You'll enjoy those, I think.
I love how Dan thinks that Evil Clergyman came out 5 years ago. I had to look it up, Dan. It's been 11 years.
11 years. Wow. The DVD, I don't feel like is. Well,
2012.
All right. Fuck it then. I'm way off. But yeah, no, Blood Dolls is one of the better ones, in my opinion, from that time frame. So I really like to see all of their late 90s or early 2000s stuff on Blu-ray. So this is another one to scratch off the list. And I think Full Moon's doing a 4th of July sale. I'm not 100% sure, but
I think you've imagined this into existence, Dan.
I think I might have saw last year's, but they usually do, so it could still be announced.
Yeah, I went through emails. I didn't see. Did I see it on the page? No, they got like 3 Facebook pages. So
yeah, I was gonna say yeah, but hopefully, but if not, it's worth paying full price for most of them.
Wait, we got breaking Amityville news.
Oh no.
Donald Farmer reports there's now 4 directors making segments for his new anthology movie, Amityville Aliens. They still have openings for 3 more directors to make short segments. You want to beat it, Amity, Dan?
No.
Right.
Well, I can't do any worse than Cool Dude.
I just want you to have a credit in the same movie because you know he's going to show up somehow.
Oh, he's going to probably be directing 6 of them.
we got to do our own and have me be the alien and anal probe Dan in it. That'll be perfect.
I mean, it all has to center around, all those stories, and it has to center around Amityville and aliens.
Have you seen any of those Amityville movies, Dan? I don't think it matters.
Yeah, but it's just like, okay, I got to come up with like that many.
I got it.
Yeah, for Amityville.
I think Kruger nailed it. We'll just, yeah. It's gonna be, yeah. I can't
dude, dude, I already know. All you could need to do is like have a shot of a car driving in front of the house, and then you could just it doesn't even need to be the house. You could green screen all that shit, and the alien abducts him. There you go.
I was just gonna have the alien sodomize Dan for like 90 minutes.
90. It's like that should be the wraparound. It's just like
Amityville, not guinea pig.
No,
every frame it cannot be. This is every frame. Fuck you, Mount Misery Road. Yeah. This is it.
It's Amityville on B. Jameson Avenue now. What the fuck? God damn. So yes, I don't know. Donald, just don't let Cool Duder direct any of them. And I will watch it. That's all I ask. No Cool Duder.
Amityville Aliens.
I feel like if he didn't let him do it, I feel like Cool Duder might show up at his house. That's the only like downside. He's going to roll up his blinds. It's going to be, hi, Chauncey Phillips here. Staring at her.
I can't wait till he kicks your ass like, what, motherfucker?
I would take that fight.
And why did
even if I lost, that would be hilarious.
Why did you like turn him into like Michael Jackson? Like, by the way,
have you heard Cool Duder talk? He is literally Michael Jackson.
You know, they have this thing I saw that where like content creators fight, Dan.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's like a
now he's look at him pull it back now.
Oh, I'm taking the fight. The fight. I don't think he would because I'm not big enough.
You know what? I think it's time, Kruger.
Is that a thing though? You didn't finish your thought.
That's the thing.
So what? What is it? Like fighting MMA, fighting boxing?
No, it's like celebrity boxing, basically, but with influencers.
That's bizarre. I haven't heard about this. I don't know that we would qualify as influencers.
They had that these 2 fat fucks that are YouTubers.
I got scared for a second.
Yeah, I had to stop myself from saying something either. But what is it? That Boogie 2988 motherfucker and Wings of Redemption, who is like some old COD player. They're like 2 400-pound guys that like boxed like maybe a month and a half ago.
I gotta ask the chat, what podcast personalities would you like to see fight? It can be this.
No, see, Ben gets the assignment. Ben gets the assignment. Three boobed aliens. That's
there you go.
There you go.
Oh, Dan's like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, 3 boobed aliens. That works. Oh wait, I got one. I got a concept. I'm not going to give it away.
Don't. I'm telling you.
I actually, it's stupid.
Better be better than the last time you fucking did this shit to us.
No. Well, this one would be funny for a short, which it would be a short. So.
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh well, there you go.
Piz versus Lauren Barney. Oh, I don't know who I'm. That would be interesting.
It's kind of a mismatch, isn't Piz like 6'5"?
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but I don't know. That could be a battle where David Goliath. You never know how that goes.
Yes, you do. That's why they have weight classes in fucking professional fighting, sir.
Well, this is true, but
well, Ben's got one too.
Christian Hannah Horror and Serial at Midnight. Well, I know one of those two.
Well, obviously, my dream match is Dan Cool Duder, and of course, Cool Duder's over.
What main event? I don't know. Cool Duder is there's like an entire.
Well, obviously, it's going to be a Kruger Open Challenge.
I think he might take the fight if they let Dead Pit in my corner. That's if you know that history, Like he might take it in that case.
That'd be pretty funny, actually. He's like your coach.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Giving you the Rocky speech in between.
You know what? I think that's we're gonna have to start filming Dan vignettes.
Dude,
Kruger, you need to legitimately put out an open challenge. You'll take on any broadcaster.
Well, I'm not saying I
not
can
you.
Anybody.
Shut the fuck up, Dan. I'm talking to Kruger.
Oh well, yeah, Kruger. You probably. I don't know if I know a horror podcast.
I just line them up, just suplex them as they're going.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If we're doing like with me, it's got to be like MMA. It can't just be fucking boxing because then you're taking like half of my tools away.
I feel like even in a boxing, I don't know any like horror podcaster badasses. I'm not saying they're not out there, but I don't know.
Okay, well, I got a ring.
We got Todd's got a ring.
Well, I know,
like,
we got access to a ring.
Access to a ring. This can happen. God, that would be funny. Cool Duder. I will No, wait, can't do that because that's a threat. I will take you down.
Dan can't even tread. Dan, you do understand there's wrestling promos on like YouTube, right?
Yeah, I wanted to make it clear as a wrestling promo. But, we'll do this. We'll do this.
God damn it. I'm the one who was like, oh yeah, we got to get 90 minutes today.
Oh yeah, you just fucked that.
Well, I whatever. 2 hours then.
God, we could build a WrestleMania card out of this.
I
mean, you get Drum Dums and Cody Leach. Hopefully, Drum Dums kicks the shit out of Cody. That would be it. That would probably be near the main event because that's also like actual beef.
Is Dan pulling us inadvertently into outside heat, Todd?
No. I'm just saying there is heat. That's documented online.
Me and Kruger, we're the outsiders. We ain't fucking around.
Too sweet, me brother.
There you go.
I do feel dirty doing that now.
Now I got fucking Wolfpack theme playing in my head. Definitely one of the best fucking theme songs of all.
Did you know that's actually a reworking of the song "Burned" by Militia?
No shit.
Yeah, like the lyrics are obviously different. But.
That's great.
Because I remember I got the single because it had an instrumental, and that was close as I could get back then. So. Oh wait, we got another one. Well,
Jake and Logan fight to the death, please. Yeah,
but they're not horror podcasts. Oh,
Swaggy G said Giant Chris versus Slasher home video.
That would be a battle of the giants. Yeah, that would be. Although Chris is,
I'm running out 911 in these bitches.
Chris is a legit 7 foot, I believe. So that.
God damn.
All right, Kruger's gonna kick him in the balls first. Then.
Quite significantly bigger than Chris. Although Chris is a big guy. I've met Chris in person in Kentucky. So yeah, Yes.
Kruger versus Houston Jones. Who the fuck is that?
This is a horror podcaster? I've never even heard of Houston.
Yeah, who's Houston Jones?
He sounds like
Batman
a bad WWF 70s jobber.
Yeah, right.
Houston Jones.
Yeah, for sure.
He's got like some lumberjack gimmick. He's just coming out. Yeah.
We should probably start reviewing some.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to talk our real horror thing real quick?
Oh, yes.
All right, then we'll get to the reviews.
Well,
I blame the chat.
Punisher Batman fan said he's a guy that hurts himself for a living. So,
okay, yeah. If we're opening it up outside of horror podcasters, see, like I can't think of a horror podcaster.
Well, again, I said it was like content creator, person out like that.
Okay, that's you're opening it up. All right, well
that's what I said. And you just turned it into I want my friends to fight.
You could have that title though, Kruger, in the horror realm for sure. Because I could be wrong. Maybe like fucking Drum Dums is some MMA expert and he's unbeatable. I don't know, but as far as I'm aware, I don't think there's.
I'll say like if we were doing everything, I would say yes. Boxing, I'm not going to toot my horn that much, but
okay, I'm gonna still put my money on you, but. Real horror.
I'm trying to be humble, Dan. Something you should learn.
Yeah. Well, see, no one said. I mean, fuck this shit. That fucking little.
Oh, fucking superhuman.
There you go.
Jesus Christ, dude! I would kill that kid.
I know.
My fucking niece would kick the shit out of him.
Yeah,
but it wouldn't be as satisfying if it was
fun.
Dude, if it was me, I just like I get a boxing glove with fucking just gusset plates on and beating the fucking shit out of him.
Has that been done yet?
What, gusset plate boxing glove?
I've never seen
no. Casanova does the boxing glove wrapped in barbed wire though, and he calls it the Stinger because the Simpsons.
Okay. Yeah,
but I don't think I've seen one with a fucking gusset plate. I have to message Casanova about that idea now.
We'll make a lot of violence in the chat. Everybody has a fight they want in their head. So, no, we'll see. We got a lot of people just that we know that we can build a card. I don't know. Jess Graham, you got to fight. Well, no, wait. Corey Jonathan. All right, we're fantasy booking this. Real horror news. The Titanic survey.
You see why I said this should be last, right? Because we're gonna do this and then talk about fucking all that shit.
Oh, you want to do it last? I'm sorry.
No. I meant before the news. If we would have done this news first, and then we're joking around about the other stuff, it might be bad.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about this for 10 seconds and segue back into. I think Lauren can take Piz out with a submission hold, possibly.
Well, we already know Dan's using the dick flip again. He's bringing it back.
Oh my god!
Nobody has claimed the dick flip since Joey Ryan went away.
That's not true.
Has somebody's done the dick flip since he
Sexy Eddie, the guy who originated that?
Oh well, yeah, but he created it.
Yeah, but he's done it since then.
That's true. Yeah. So, all right. Sorry, Sexy Eddie. I'm not trying to steal it again. All right. So. Titanic survey expedition. Of course, this is all over the news. I thought it was interesting to talk about tonight just briefly because apparently 7 a.m. roughly tomorrow morning, it's likely that the air will no longer be in existence and the Titan is the vessel. I find this story really fascinating because it's just, I mean, can you imagine 13,000 feet deep right now? And they very well could be alive. There's different scenarios. If there was an implosion, which I know is a strong theory.
Well, there's no safety check. You have to understand some of the details about this sub. It was a sub that some guy fucking built himself, and he had all these people sign a waiver, like. That said, there was no safety checks on this thing whatsoever. So, like, if you die, you die, basically. Like, it almost feels like this was like a fucking like an inadvertent like just way to get a bunch of people to blow up in the middle of the ocean. Because I don't understand the rational mind of having to pay $250,000. I mind you, all these people paid $250,000
billionaires though
to be on this thing.
Yeah.
But with no safety checks? Are you fucking me? Like,
well, why'd you like go? Yeah, all good. Get.
There were a lot of concerns of structural fatigue on the vessel. I mean, there's going to be a lot of criticism. Of course, the guy that is in charge of the company is on that vessel. So I don't know who you go after at that point, but yeah, I mean, 2.5 miles down, it's got to be frigid. There's a lot of different. They're searching a search area the size or even larger than Belgium. I think I heard an entire country. So the way people are talking on the news, you can kind of read between the lines that it's like maybe a 1% shot that they would locate them. They did hear, I know, knocking, but that could also be from debris. There are other explanations for that. Man, what a story though if they were able to rescue them at the last second. But yeah,
Cameron's just sitting over there like, come on, Titanic 2 is gonna be the shit.
Right?
Yeah, I'm sure I haven't seen him on any news program, but I'm sure he is, because I mean he had that documentary and he's been down there. So yeah. I can understand paying that money, though, to be honest, especially when you're a billionaire.
I get paying the money, but paying the money and my safety isn't guaranteed. Fuck that. Like, yeah, you got to be like, if you're a billionaire, you have to be like somewhat of a, unless you came into the money, you have to be somewhat of a, savvy person. I don't, it just sounds like a recipe for disaster from the start. So I'll be looking forward to the Netflix documentary in about 3 years.
This is what happened when you don't let your kids watch Jaws 3D and learn. Stay out of underwater structures. Not a good idea. You won't see my ass underwater. I get nervous when I went to that friggin' aquarium in Arizona and I had to walk down that.
Where they put you under? Yeah, that shit's cool as fuck.
No. I saw Jaws 3.
So, like, if you came out here, you wouldn't go out on the boat?
That's on top of water, dude.
You're still, something goes wrong.
A boat's different though. Like with underwater shit, just alone, what freaks me the fuck. Like one of my biggest fears, if I ever was to do that, would be the air pressure thing, and you getting like a fucking bubble in your lung or some shit, and then you think you're fine. Fucking for a half hour, you're chilling, having a beer, and then you drop dead of a fucking heart attack. That happens to people that go like, deep sea scuba diving and shit. It's where like there's a certain thing you have to do with the air pressure before you surface, or like bad shit can happen to your fucking lungs and your heart.
Yeah. I've done it down in the Caribbean. I mean, nothing like hardcore, but I've been down to. I wish I could remember the wreckage of the ship. I'll have to ask, but
I snorkel. That's it. On top of the water, looking down. That's far as I'm going.
Never scoop. Yeah, I mean, I've snorkeled more than I've done scuba, but
I'm honestly like a lot of things don't scare me, but that's one of them. I'm too big of a pussy to do that shit.
Yeah.
Not to mention, dude, like I've heard some like crazy stories about people being attacked by fucking barracudas going scuba diving and shit. Like, I'm good on that.
That's pretty rare. I mean, yeah, it's always a possibility. I mean, sharks for a lot of people, but the statistics on that, you're probably fine.
Dude, I speaking of sharks, are you seeing that viral video going around of that shark attacking that boat in the lake? It's like straight out of a scene of Jaws. It's insane.
No, I haven't.
I don't.
Yeah, this dude's on. I'll have to find the video and maybe I'll post it up in our Discord. But I was scrolling through Instagram and this guy's just on this boat in this lake, and it looks like to me a great white just started attacking his fucking boat, and he was freaking the fuck out.
The one video I need to look for, somebody said it was like a Russian general where somebody was refusing to fight and he gets like bludgeoned with a hammer. I haven't seen
that happened. They were talking about that on Rogan.
Yeah.
I hate to harp on another news bit, but we never talked about the fucking aliens thing that happened either.
Oh, it's like at the point where it's like, yeah, there's fucking
No, but the whole Las Vegas thing. Did you hear about this?
No.
This happened.
Oh, like that. We're both thinking of the movie.
No. There's a fucking
alien sighting
thing that happened in Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Police Department got called into an area, and I guess one of the cops they thought it was like a fucking asteroid or something, but they saw a bunch of lights, and apparently this UFO, according to this family, this UFO landed in this backyard, and they saw a 10-foot fucking figure come out of the motherfucker. And like, the thing that has me kind of weirded out about this is this apparently happened like 2 months ago, but they just released like the footage of like the cops and stuff, investigating it. And the cops are spooked, like out of their mind. And the fact that one of their own saw it, and then you have this family talking about seeing a 10-foot fucking alien walking around. Pretty scary stuff.
I did see.
Doesn't it make you happy to know though that they exist?
No, fuck that.
Well, but you're assuming they're hostile. You're assuming human behavior.
You know what? They were going to be hostile in about 5 seconds. We're going to be sticking them and poking them. So yeah, they're going to be hostile. Because if you haven't noticed, our country isn't like the best at like.
Well, yeah, dude. Like you could have an alien just like it's doing the whole ET phone home thing with like a little girl, and then you're gonna have some redneck go, "Holy shit, it's a fucking alien!" Boom, and then the war starts. That's the realistic thing.
Joe Bob does not represent us.
You think Caesar's gonna ask questions when something lands at the park? It could literally be ET walking over with the flower and he's still smoking it.
Yeah, maybe don't. First contact with Caesar might not be the best idea.
There's a reason if they're here, they're in disguise.
I would want to know. Like, I've had this discussion with a lot of people recently, and we are reviewing horror movies tonight, I promise. But I would want to know definitively. I do believe they're out there because it just makes sense. There'd be other life out there. Some people are like, no, I'd be terrified. But I'm like, again, you're making an assumption, and if they have this technology and they wanted to hurt us, it seems like we'd be fucked anyways. So
yeah, but
pause. To be fair, we have that technology ourselves to do that, and we haven't.
This is true.
What do you mean? Sorry.
We have technology ourselves to fucking probably fuck with them back.
No, I didn't mean that. We have technology to end the world, but we're not doing it. Yeah. Is what I'm saying.
Yet.
Again, but that's my point, though. So they can have it too, but we have it. We're just not doing it. So just you're saying if they have it, they're going to use it.
We can't deploy a nuke to take out their home world, presumably. Not is out of range of any weapon we'd have. So,
well, I meant when they're here.
Yeah,
I want it to be revealed.
What I'm saying is the ability to do it doesn't mean that's what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. We haven't done it yet.
Don't you think like it would be good for humanity? Like if they have bodies or whatever, just to come out with it. Like I don't think.
No,
I think the panic, dude. You have to understand. You do this. You start getting into like people rethinking their religion and a bunch of other shit. So I don't think it's a good idea. Like I think that's probably why the government and just media in general has back then when you when you were talking about aliens, everybody immediately thought you were crazy. But as time has gone on, we're kind of getting out of that narrative that if you saw an alien, you're a fucking crackpot because of all the shit the government's slowly putting out there. So I think eventually we may get to that point where they're going to fucking introduce us to an alien maybe, or tell us what has happened over the last few years, but it's going to be slow and over time. And I think we're in that period now. So hopefully in the next 10 years. But
here's the question. All right, obviously it depends what it looks like, but do you fuck it? Like if an alien chick like lands in your backyard and just
absolutely.
says, like,
I mean, what's the point if you can't say I got some? The first person to get some alien poon that can tell about it. Of course,
that's bestiality, sir.
Like, but like, what if it's like really like far away from what a human is? Like, you might have like a bunch of titties.
So are fucking animals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's the same principle.
But intelligent.
So you would go fuck a goat. Good to know, Dan.
That's not it's a space goat, maybe.
So you would
space goats.
Space goat, you know, but it's got to have like some human feature.
They got to fuck something in the South. Come on.
Like if it's like a hot like Klingon chick, sure, I can overlook the ridges on the head. But you know what I mean? Like, it depends. If it's like 7 of 9.
Dan, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. We're gonna start reviewing movies now.
Yeah, we can talk more about this on the post show.
You were fine, then you started bringing up some stuff we don't know what you're talking about.
The Borg chick, hot Borg chick, Borg Queen, Alice Kriege.
Okay,
first review
movie for the night, Dan.
All right. Well, Todd wants to get down to business. I wanted to talk aliens, but all right. The Blackening.
No, you wanted.
The Blackening from director Tim Story. And in this film, 7 black friends go away for the weekend and end up trapped in a cabin with a killer who has a vendetta. Will their street smarts and knowledge of horror movies help them stay alive? Probably not. All right. So The Blackening. Hot tag. You want to go first, Kruger?
Sure. I actually just saw this in the theater last night, which it was kind of surprising. Packed theater. Like, I wasn't expecting that at all, considering it came out, what was it, Friday or Thursday in some areas. But packed theater, good crowd. A lot of people were laughing. I watched it with my girlfriend. She thought it was pretty funny. There was a couple of jokes in there that got me, but when I saw the trailer for this, I was hoping it. How do I put this in the right terms? I felt like this was more of like a spoof than like a horror comedy. I was hoping for like a horror comedy slasher. Maybe you got some good gore and some good kills in there. And there really isn't a lot of that. It's more played for the laughs. And, that's fine for some people, but I was expecting, at least to have some decent kills. And there wasn't like a single one that I thought was memorable or even good for that matter. But it did have some funny lines in there. The Trump joke really cracked me up. And as a whole, it's not anything I'm ever going to watch again. But for a one-time watch, I say give it a go. Probably my biggest issue outside of the kills was that I thought it was very predictable. I mean, they kind of like really give away what is happening in the story within like the first 10 minutes. But I also don't think people were going into this looking for a great slasher mystery. They're going in to have fun and laugh. And I think it does do that well. It's just not my personal preference of what I like to see in horror comedies. Yeah, like I need splatter with my comedy. Ben Grimm said that annoying guy was really annoying to me. Got on my nerves. Which one? The Steve Urkel guy?
Yeah, Clifton. Clifton.
I thought his name was Carlton.
I thought he was talking about Dan.
Carlton's from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You were younger than Todd.
Yes, that's the guy.
But he is essentially Carlton, but his character is Clifton.
But I got more Steve Urkel than Carlton, but
they're kind of a blanket.
He should have did the Carlton dance. I would have laughed my ass off if that happened.
I think they would have had to give someone some money for that.
Shit, they should have just had Carlton in this motherfucker. Right, I liked him in Ticks.
What he was?
Yeah.
He was. What?
He dated Nikki Bella.
What?
Or Brie Bella. I think it was Brie Bella.
That's hilarious.
Daniel Bryan and fucking
and I
bet you are Eskimo brothers.
And I bet you he did the Eskimo dance every time, or the Eskimo dance,
the Carlton dance every time. He's doing it while he's inside her and shit. There you go. But
yeah, no, yeah, Clifton, but they kept calling him Carlton Benson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Todd, what did you think? Because I know you were excited for this one.
I was, and it delivered what I thought it was going to do. I thought I get what you mean though about it being like on that parody thing. Like it's very easy to follow. It's like what's going to happen. It's one of those movies. But I mean, this isn't really shooting for the horror crowd at all.
No, it's like that crowd that liked going to Scary Movie and all those.
Yeah, it is. It totally is, and that's what it gave me, and I really enjoyed it. I am a fan, and this goes back to XPW, whatever. I am a fan of when race is used in humor and stuff. Like it's something now. It's kind of edgy, which is weird because that's what most humor was at one point. So being able to laugh at people and whatever yourself. But yeah, it was. I had a really good time. I was annoyed there was no 40s in it. Like, come on, someone's got to have a 40. I mean, you have. Sorry, was that a spoiler?
Yeah, but these are like fucking. Like,
yeah, but you got one that used to be hood. Come on, give me a little more.
Yeah, but if I get what you're saying, Todd, but this is also like a modern black comedy.
I get that, but
it made sense why they were popping pills instead.
Yeah, it did. But I mean, you figure you at least do one trope like that. But I guess that they already have the big trope with fucking Carlton.
Yeah,
I just wanted 40, son.
For me going in, I wasn't very excited about it, mostly because it was centering on an old gag about the black guy dying first in horror movies. That is now like that joke is so like 30 years now or 25 years.
But it's not
overdone.
It's a trope, though. You literally said
it is, but that whole premise for the humor, it's just like I've seen that fucking shit. It's so fucking lame. When I did a movie, the director put in that same line about the black guy always dying first. I'm like, that's so fucking stupid. I'm almost embarrassed having my writing credit on that. It's just a dumb joke. But having said that, so I really, this looked more parody to me. And it is a comedy. You should go in with that in your head. It's about 5% of a horror movie. Now, having said that, a lot of the humor actually landed. I was surprised because I was entertained by this. I thought the gag when one character is being kind of pushed out of the house where he just looks back, all lives matter. That was hilarious. I thought that was funny.
And Dan just got us demonetized saying that.
I hadn't thought of that one, but the
now he's realizing it.
Then some of the other gags, like the studio couldn't afford to keep us. There was a lot of winks and nods. I laughed more than I thought. My favorite bit, and it's really subtle, and it's like a blink and you could miss it moment, when one character was holding the gun like sideways and Clifton turns his hand. There were a lot of like little subtle gags like that that got me.
That's the one to me that felt played out more than the other one. Because I've seen that joke 100 times. Like
I didn't remember that gag. I thought it was real quick, and I was like, okay, that's pretty funny.
It hasn't been done exactly like that, but that's like a thing that black people always shoot the gun sideways, but it kicks wrong, so they're teaching them to shoot. It's a whole thing.
Oh, okay. Well, it made me laugh.
No, it is. It is still like one of those things. But I was going to ask you, do they make that joke in the movie?
You mean joke about black people dying first? Yeah.
Okay, I just remember it on the poster. I don't remember.
No, it's like the very beginning opening scene. They talked about it, and I think later on they did too.
Okay, I just don't remember it like being like that big of a thing. But if they said it twice, it didn't even register. Yeah. But I know, it's all over. It's giant on the poster.
And I get it.
But see, again, it's not made for you. See, that joke still works.
I like
people it. No. I'm saying that concept still works, and is still said by the people they're marketing this movie for. Yeah. So the fact that our sis didn't like it.
Well, it obviously works for some people, but it was it's just a joke that's been done so many times.
Yeah, but it's a staple of like the black horror community. So I mean, it just
I don't know. I thought it was lame, but I liked the movie, so it didn't matter. It wasn't a big part of the movie. And I don't want to reveal too much, like you said. It's one, as Kruger, you already said, like if you're looking for kills or big, an impressive body count.
Not a splatter comedy.
No, it's not a splatter comedy. It's really more of just a comedy. But I liked it more than I thought. Again, that could be super low expectations, but I laughed more than a handful of times. I was engaged enough,
This could have gone very wrong. Like the commercials, I thought we were going to have the right tone. It's Scary Movie 2, not Scary Movie 5. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And it could have gone like that way of one of the, shitty.
Yeah, it doesn't go like full like horror parody. I'm actually glad that they held back on that a little bit. But the final gag is kind of more, and it works because it's out of nowhere and it's actually really funny. I think most of you can find something to like in this movie out there. I mean, it did. And I was a little worried too with the director because he's kind of hit or miss for me. He did the first two Fantastic Four movies. Ben Grimm, not a big fan of them shit talking androids.
Dan got up and clapped during that scene.
I've never had an android. I have no opinion.
That's what I'm saying. So you're liking the shit talk. He said would have been better if the Waynes did it.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think so, because I think then it would have been just like a full-on sight gag.
Yeah, I've seen I really like Haunted House, but Haunted House 2.
Yeah,
I liked Haunted House.
Hit or miss, but this director, he did do the newest Shaft, which I did enjoy, even though that one went again more comedy than I would have liked. But taking it for what it is, it was good. But he also did the two Fantastic Four movies and Taxi. Yeah, he's done some bad movies. So I was happy that this ended up being one of the good ones.
Did he do Silver Surfer?
Yeah, the two with Jessica Alba and Chris Evans are the ones he did.
I have a weird nostalgia thing for those movies. I liked them when I was a little kid.
Well, better than the last Fantastic Four. There's give them that.
Yeah, I like the first movie. But not the Corman one. Well, I love the Corman one, but the Alba one, the first one. The second one, I
don't know. Something about that and fucking those movies coming out. I think Burger King had toys for them too.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Ben said he likes Haunted House too. Can't look at Annabelle the same after that. I should rewatch the second one.
The first one's okay.
See, I like to see it.
Yeah, it depends.
That's a little too hoodie humor for you, though, Dan.
Most of those parody
that movies, has the character I wanted.
Yeah, most of those parody movies are good for a few laughs. But you were talking superhero movies. Did you see Flash? I was surprised that didn't do better. I thought that was going to make it fucking mint.
Well, they're just Little Mermaid's picking back up. Now it's back on track.
Yeah, but if this one, I don't know.
I was going to save this because this is a long conversation.
Oh, we want to save it for Patreon?
Well, no, we're not doing Patreon tonight.
Oh, we're not? I thought
we got to do that other thing. I know we had a.
Well, it's still going to be a live show, though, isn't it? Is that what we're doing?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was gonna. I thought we were gonna.
Okay, no. Yeah, I totally forgot. That is true. I'm thinking of doing just a post show. I lost my thought.
Flash.
Oh no. Okay, no. Real quick, I don't think it's a what the movie is problem. I think it's a movie theater problem. Like I have a whole thing.
Well, that Spider-Man movie did really well. So.
But if you look at the stuff before and around, other than that, nothing has really done great.
I think it's an Ezra Miller thing, partially, not the only reason.
No, but I'm being not just that because you look at Little Mermaid. The big test is going to be this Thursday, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to be happy with the numbers for Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I don't give a fuck.
That thing got review bombed so bad too.
Yeah. Well, every big tentpole movie does now, but that one, they went.
Oh, dude, it was rough. Dude, I listened to the IGN review of it, and I was like, "Holy shit, dude! They just ripped this movie a new asshole."
I know Todd's seeing it, and I'm curious to get. I already know everything. I'm curious to get your review because I don't think you're gonna like it. Is my prediction. But
well, Dan, again, I say this every time. You're like saying like you expect me to like it. I only like the first two. The other two can suck an asshole.
Yeah, well, that's true. I'm surprised 3 is
the way I love.
Let's go ahead and rate Blackening.
If they nostalgia bomb me and Short Round shows up, then it's got a chance.
All right, Blackening. So I'm a 3.5. Honestly, it made me laugh quite a few times. So yeah,
I'm a 2.5 out of 5.
Okay, and Todd,
I'm a 4. I had a great time.
Sweet, sweet. All right, moving on to our next film, which is Final Summer. All right, so Final Summer in the from writer-director John Isberg, and in the aftermath of a tragedy at summer camp, a group of camp counselors find themselves fighting for their lives against a masked killer. Do we go with our masked killer first on this one?
If you want to. I've been looking forward to this movie for a while. It got announced, I think, around the time Terrifier came out, or maybe a couple of months before last year, and started following the page on Instagram, saw the trailer, was like, oh shit, this is going to be fucking awesome. It was just, this was literally one of my most anticipated films of the year, and like one of the first things I put on my watch list. I just gotta say, this is a big letdown for me. There's a few things this movie does right. I think atmosphere, as far as like the shooting location, great place. I thought the killer looked very cool, but slasher movies to me, like my favorites, always have great kills in them. And there isn't a single good kill in this movie.
It's like almost bloodless. Not quite, but almost bloodless. Everything's off screen.
Yeah, everything's off screen. And it just, that really bothered the hell out of me. Even if they would have just put 1 or 2 small little practical effects scenes, give me a severed head, something. But everything was off screen. It was just really disappointing. And I thought the characters, I didn't care for any of them, or I didn't find any of them entertaining or endearing. And like the killer, why he had a cool look, he wasn't menacing enough for me. And the way the story played out, it just really put a bad taste in my mouth too. I mean, I get what you're doing because, you want that whole Friday the 13th going on. But I didn't like this thing at all, and it's definitely the biggest disappointment as far as me being hyped for a movie and being very let down by the time I saw it. And a little tidbit to add to this too: I was in a cabin in the woods watching this movie.
Really?
Yeah, me and my girl, we went up to Mount Lemon and we got a cabin for a day, and it's just like a really nice area in the skiing lodge little town. And I was like all set, all hyped up, got the perfect setting, lights dimmed down low. I'm in the cabin watching like a Friday the 13th type movie, and then let out a wet fart. So
yeah,
but I will say, there's effort here. There's definitely effort to get that whole nostalgia Friday the 13th style slasher thing going on. So some people may enjoy that, but just for me, without the good kills and the story, me not being a fan of it, it was just a big letdown.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind a more suspense-driven slasher. Sometimes I actually enjoy those quite a bit. I will say the cast was fine in terms of the acting was all good. I didn't think anybody shit the bed or came off as an amateur actor by any means. It's just so familiar. I mean, it's a love letter to Friday the 13th. I get it. Like, you kind of want to like the movie, but they don't do anything particularly different. It's a decent enough little script, but it really just, it's too familiar and doesn't do anything to be memorable, was my issue. It is reasonably well made. I will say, if you're going in for Thom Matthews, his part is very minimal. So despite top billings, I don't think you're going in with a big role from him. And yeah, it won't satisfy the gore hounds, because that's non-existent just about. Even when you see like the impact, it'll be a long shot and you'll just see like an axe in the back. Yeah. I'm assuming they did that partially to avoid really bad CG gore, and they just, I don't know, didn't have the means to do practical effects. But like you said, some are kind of simple.
I mean, all I need is a long shot of somebody getting their head cut off. Like, there's ways you can do it.
Yeah, and it, it has some moments of suspense, but again, it's just so familiar. Unless you watch every slasher movie ever made, and you could certainly do worse. I don't know. I can't tell anybody, like, go out and see this. Yeah. It's not a single thing like really stands out, except the acting's a little bit better than normal, especially for an indie slasher. But yeah. I mean, I like our lead actress, and I don't know. I wasn't very compelled by this, but slashers now, it's you got to give me something a little bit different, or you can go the hatchet route and just spray the screen with blood and gore, but it didn't do either. So Todd, what did you think of Final Summer?
I don't argue with any of your guys' points, because it is, stuff we've all seen before, and it does need some more gore. But like you said, it's well acted. It's well directed. It's kind of what you say, Dan. It needs something more. I think this will find an audience. We're just not it. We're seasoned slasher horror vets.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those where it's like, I don't. How do I say this? I'm glad I watched it. It's just, I don't know who to recommend it to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's lacking some things for me that would make it much better, but I'm sure,
I mean, let's be real. Like, I can see this popping up on Shudder, or, possibly Screenbox eventually. It's just going to be one, but there's a lot of, movies on both of those streaming services where, they're kind of a gamble, but sometimes you have some gems, and sometimes you have some that just aren't there. Ben Grimm said, I always say, if you're making a low budget slasher, you have to have a unique killer with a cool weapon. I mean, I agree with that, but along with that weapon, like, I've also been in movies where I love the weapon the killer has. I love the look of them, and then there's just no gore, and that bothers me. Like, if you have a cool fucking ass weapon, I want to see you use it. And there's been, I feel like we've reviewed a slasher where the slasher had this amazing weapon he didn't use in the whole movie. This is like it's bringing back a memory of.
I know what I remember the one you're talking about.
Part of the thing I was kind of wondering is the decision to shoot the gore the way it is shot could have been on purpose, because that's the way we watched them growing up, because most of our gore was cut out of it.
Yeah, but
you still get a little bit more than this. Another thing, like, as far as like 80s nostalgia goes, there's no skin either. Like, I was
waiting for you to bring
no gore, no skin. It's way too familiar. I mean, that's the problem. You give me something like really unique, like, oh man, I haven't seen that before. Great story, but it doesn't really have that going for it either. It's competently made, but it's like, okay, if you're really going to the point where this is essentially just a big homage to the Friday the 13th franchise, then you kind of got to give us a little bit of gore. There is no gore. There's a couple blood sprays at the very end.
Yeah.
And there's no skin. There's no, I mean, this one's just more pointless to me. Like, it's not the worst slasher by any means I've seen, but it's just pointless.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't help that we just saw two, well, in my opinion, two like great slasher homages with the Third Saturday in October and the Third Saturday in October Part 5. I did like both of those movies a lot because they, you know, I think they kind of were going for more horror comedy, but like nostalgia trip like this one kind of did with the Friday the 13th thing, and they accomplished it better.
Yeah.
I think I'm finally over the 80s nostalgia. I mean, I've been for a while, but like in movies, I think we're kind of past it.
That's why I like fucking Terrifier, because like it's 80s nostalgia when it comes to like the backbone of what the movie's made off of, but it's taking place in a modern time with modern people. And we don't get a lot of that. You know, I enjoy those nostalgia trips all the time, but I do want in like 20 years to be able to look back and see slashers that took place in our time period.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to go back and like, well, everything's in the fucking 80s, but it's 20. And it's not even a real version of the 80s. That's what it.
Yeah. I mean, there's an audience for it, though. And that's why we keep getting it, because everybody loves their nostalgia.
Well, but it's 90s nostalgia is finally taken over. So it's hard with horror, though. I don't think that's going to fit like everything else. But with 90s, there is some good stuff, but it's not going to. Yeah.
I mean, they did a good job with Fear Street '94. I mean, I really enjoyed that one a lot. I mean, I like those the first two Fear Streets, but third one was a little wonky. But those first two were good at, you know, basically taking you back to that time period as far as just the way everything looked.
When people think 90s, I mean, Goosebumps is a huge part of that for a lot of horror fans. So
yeah,
it makes sense. But all right, well, I give this 1 star. It's not one I'll ever need to watch again.
Yeah, I agree. 1 star, 1 out of 5 for me.
I'm 2.5. I don't like. If whatever the director does next, I'll check out. I mean, I like the cast. It's it was just too familiar. That's my biggest complaint, which is why I'm right in the middle.
Yeah, I think just for me, my expectations were very, very high.
I knew you'd want gore, and I knew watching. I was like, Kruger's overhyped himself.
Yeah.
And I knew Dan was going to be like, no titties. So
no titties, no gore.
Well, but see, I knew Kruger was going to have the gore section of the complaining.
Yeah, I don't bitch too much about titties.
Now that if you're doing a 90s homage, that can kind of make sense because, you know, that Scream era that was not known for nudity. So
yeah.
But yeah, 80s, sorry. All right, so moving on to our only non-slasher tonight. It was almost a total slasher show, but
and Kruger did not watch out of protest.
Yeah, out of protest because I wanted the all slasher show. I'm gonna get Slashtober can't come soon enough for me. Let's just put it that way.
Yes, that's not that far away, really. All right, so our next one is a Shudder original from writer-director Ted Geoghegan, and it is Brooklyn 45. Set on a freezing evening in December 1945 as 5 military vets gather together in the ornate parlor of a Brooklyn brownstone. Best friends since childhood, they have reunited to support their troubled host. But when his invitation for cocktails turns into an impromptu seance, the metaphoric ghosts of their past become all too literal. All right, so Ted Geoghegan is a name that's been in our horror genre for actually a very long time. He's really only directed, besides this, 3 other films. So he did We Are Still Here, which was really popular a little while back. Mohawk with the late Luke Harper. And for the most part, he's been a writer. He was a writer for the Andreas Schnaas film Nikos the Impaler, Barricade for Timo Rose, Demonium, Sweatshop, Disco Exorcist. So he's really kind of really done more writing than anything. And I was excited for this because anything like war themed when it comes to horror, I tend to gravitate towards and enjoy quite a bit. And I like the idea of doing something immediately after the war. This is like 2 months after the end of World War II. So just that going home again after basically the war to end all wars at that time, and hopefully going forward. And I love these sort of one room character study films, which this is. It something about that just really connects with me lately when I look at some of my favorite horror films of recent years. There's a lot of examples of that. I will say the trailer's a little bit deceptive. So's the poster, which kind of seems to imply that there's some comedy that's going to go down here. It's not that kind of film.
Yeah, I noticed that too. The poster really does give that vibe.
Yeah, kind of like almost a Frighteners kind of thing. And I was like, okay, that's not this film.
Cool poster though.
Yeah, it's a very character-driven film that does actually hell does kind of break loose a little bit, but that's not a big part of the film. There's even one surprisingly gory bit. But generally speaking, this is, dealing with the aftermath of war and what it did to these characters. You slowly, certain things are slowly revealed about what they did during the war. I found it fascinating. I loved it. One thing I noticed when they're outside, which is very little in this movie, it's almost all in this one room of Larry Fessenden's character, Lieutenant Clive Hochstadter. But when we're outside, it's 4:3, and then when we go inside, it turns to a widescreen. I was like a little touch, and I noticed that, and I was like, "Oh man, that's kind of cool." And yeah, I was not let down. I actually like this more than his previous films as a director. This is a Dan movie all the way. I mean, each person, I thought Larry Fessenden, of course, is always awesome. Really underrated as an actor. Of course, great director, but I think his acting's underrated. Anne Ramsey, who's been in a million different things, as Maria Sheridan. I would have liked to have known just a little bit more about her character, but I think they give you just enough. And it kind of feels like you're at the theater for this one. With the exception of one surprisingly gory bit, you could probably do all of this as a play, which I would be all in on, because I just love this as the tension mounts. They can't get out of the house. It's very well done. Ezra Buzzington, fantastic as always. He's great at playing an asshole. He kind of almost reminded me of Michael Biehn in The Divide, which is another kind of one location movie. That one's kind of a post-apocalypse, post-nuke, actually, science fiction thriller that Michael Biehn's amazing in, and I thought Ezra Buzzington was really good in this too. A little more restrained in terms of the situation, but I loved it. This is definitely on my top 10 so far this year. Every actor hits a home run, and you should absolutely check this out on Shudder. Todd, what did you think? I'm curious.
I think it's good. I knew going in that it wasn't going to be humorous because, I looked at the poster. It's very whimsical.
It is, yeah. Whimsical is a good word. I'm like, okay, this is going to be like Pleasantville sort of thing. Obviously,
I wasn't going that far, but yeah, I get what you're saying. So I hadn't seen the trailer, So I was like, all right. I kind of looked and I was like, all right, thriller, horror, it was listed. So I was like, all right, it's not comedy. And I think even one of the things I read was like, this is not a comedy. So I am really glad I knew going in what I was getting into, that it wasn't humorous. And what I got, you're right, it would kill as a play. And Rope's one of my favorite movies. Definitely my favorite Hitchcock. And you kind of just have that like one act play in a room. And you brought up the aspect ratio thing, which I was going to, of course, bring up. And I don't know. It's just, it's people acting. And it's people acting, this is, I don't think it's up there with Nefarious earlier this year, just two guys acting, but it's got that same, just throw them in a room and act. And this, like you said, the twists and turns, that out of nowhere gore. I recommend this one. It's on, Shudder. There's no reason not to check it out.
Yeah, the whole is she, isn't she, and what they answer, what they don't answer. It's a good discussion flick, like, because I don't think everybody's gonna love this. Maybe my only criticism would be it could be maybe a little more scary, but it was fascinating, and I was glued to my seat. I needed this because had a slate of, if not bad, at least average movies. And I was like, let one kick my ass. And this one kicked my ass. I really loved Brooklyn 45 very, very much. And it's on Shudder right now. It's the best Shudder movie I've seen in a minute, the best original I've seen in a little while now. And I think you should all check it out. It's a good time. If you like World War II themed horror, this one's a winner. And, of course, effectively, the world I guess the world's always at war to a degree, but it's also very timely right now. So I highly recommend you check it out. And I am 4.5 stars. It's not quite perfect, but it's damn close. And I loved it.
See, I'm the same, but I don't know what's holding me back from the 5, but it's just not a 5. Like, I have no complaints, but there's just something that doesn't elevate it to a 5 for me. So 4.5's, great rating anyway. So
all right, well, I'm gonna have to check it out. I did like We Are Still Here a lot.
All right,
yeah, that's another one. This one's not like super gory, but there is like a moment where I was like, oh shit, okay. I guess you had to satisfy the gore fans with just that.
I had 2 random gore things I wasn't expecting that, and Dan will get this one: the eyeball from the boot to the face. I wasn't expecting that.
Oh yeah. It's a good time. All right, moving on to our next movie, which I know Kruger's very excited for, and that is What the Waters Left Behind, Scars. And this one is from director Nicolas Onetti of the Onetti brothers. And it is a sequel to What the Waters Left Behind. And it follows an Anglo-American indie rock band ends up stranded in the desolate city of Epiquan. Their conflicts between themselves and their bad luck are quickly forgotten when they begin to discover the bloody hell that awaits them. So this is a sequel once again to What the Waters Left Behind. The trailer for this one's been out there for a while, so was very eager to check this out and see if it lived up to the first one, which is not a classic film, but I think it's a good one. I can't say backwoods, but I guess inbred horror.
It's basically Argentine and Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, an Argentinian Texas Chainsaw is a good way to describe it. So there were first the good, some very creepy villains once again in this. Everybody kind of does their job being intimidating. I was surprised with this though because it's surprisingly restrained.
Yeah.
On the gore front. Now there's some nastiness here. This is by no means bloodless like Final Summer was, but there's really no highlight kills in this.
No,
There's a
and
nasty burnt leg, but yeah.
yeah, and there was a couple, like rewatched What the Waters Left Behind right before I watched this, and
Yeah.
like there's a couple of good gore sequences in that movie, and yeah, this didn't live up to that.
Even some of the like sexual content, was like, even that felt restrained. The whole movie shockingly felt restrained. And I know like somebody might be listening to this is like, oh, there was no gore in Texas Chainsaw, but I'm sorry, this is not Texas
Yeah.
Chainsaw. This is a ripoff of Texas Chainsaw that's nowhere near on that level.
It's supposed to be like an extreme version, that's familiar with that story. And yeah, this one was way more restrained than I ever thought it was going to be. And I think it kind of makes sense why Unearthed didn't put it out.
Yeah, it's certainly coming from Unearthed. I think there would be a lot of people let down seeing this. I'm kind of curious the rationale. Maybe it was like a wider streaming kind of thing.
Could be. Steven thumbed up, so I was watching it.
Yeah.
No heat, at least.
Well, no, I don't think it's like a fuck you thing, but like with him, like Stephen Biro he's so loyal to his fans where he watches everything, obviously that he puts out. And if he doesn't think it lives up to the label's, reputation, he doesn't put it out, even if he does like the movie. And I'm not, and it's not. I didn't hate this one either, but I just agree. Like the first one has a lot of when you see the first one, you have expectations of them upping the ante with the fucked upness and the gore and all, and it just is way more reserved. They almost kind of felt like a soft remake. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of really does. The best thing I can say about it is the location's really interesting. There's some great shots, but you get all that in the original, and it's a better movie.
Yeah, but the shots are a little bit different in where like the one area where they first all get captured. That's like a whole different location than the first movie. Watching it back to back, but still really cool. Like I love the setting of this movie. I think that town is so fucking badass.
Oh yeah, no, the look of the film is still very cool. When the credits rolled on this, I was just like, man, that's it. It felt, go for it, Todd. Sorry.
My gut says that there was a conscious decision somewhere along the way to make this more palatable for American audiences.
Yeah,
that would explain the half English. That would explain the lack of gore. Like if they're going for a mainstream horror audience, I should say, not like the Unearthed crowd or the Gorehound. I mean, those things, those changes make sense, and they didn't have a 2 on it, so it is enough you could watch it as a standalone film.
Yeah.
So I do feel like this is kind of like the dumbed down American version.
Yeah, soft reboot. You know what I mean?
And the characters weren't interesting enough, so it's like I didn't particularly care whether any of these people lived or died. So half of the fun, now seeing them slaughtered in really unique and creative ways, that would have been great. I wouldn't have asked for much more because it's a gore film at the end of the day. But I wasn't that engaged with the characters, so it's like, whatever. I mean, okay, your leg got burnt, and some people get. It's shockingly. I was surprised how restrained this was.
Me too.
If you could put this in a U.S. theater, there's nothing in it that would cause any kind of an eyebrow. There is some
maybe some
stuff.
Some of the sex
it's not
stuff,
graphic. It's not graphic at all. So
for me, I was really excited for this movie, and while it didn't, live up to the gore the first film had, I still like the setting. I still love this fucked up family. And I did actually like the main characters we followed in this one more than I did in the last film. The last film, they're kind of throwaway characters. And then this one, I like the whole, like the chemistry they all had with each other. They felt believable as this punk band that's going around touring different parts of the country. and just being, you know, a punk fan, I like those characters better than what we got in the first film. But yeah, the gore isn't as good. And there's the one thing that like made me a little bit angry was the Leatherface character. So the Leatherface character in the first film has this really cool, almost Victor Crowley looking makeup effect on its face. And in this one, they just put some burn makeup on them. And I was just like, how are you gonna massacre my boy like that? He was so fucking cool looking, and you just like dumbed him down, and now he just looks like this random dude with tattoos.
Yeah.
So that bothered me quite a bit. But that being said, I did still like the movie. It's just not as good as the first one, and you know, the first one's not a classic by any means. But if you like a good gory slasher, and you like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoffs, that movie delivers pretty fucking well. I remember like blind buying it on Earth and just being really surprised with how much I liked it. And then getting this one, I don't necessarily think I need to pick this up and put it in my collection. But I will take a third movie. You just need to add some more gore into it and go back to, you know, the grittiness of the first film when it came to the torture and the gore. And, you know, in the first film, dude, you have people jerking off, people fucking getting pissed on, you know, lots of struggle snuggling in that. And then in this, you know, it's just very, very tame compared to that insanity that we got in the first one.
Yeah, this one never gonna make you uncomfortable, really, unless you're very new to the genre. It's just okay. Like, it's just, I was disappointed, actually. Quite disappointed. My rating is sorry, Todd.
I know you keep just not letting me talk. I wasn't disappointed because I don't really like the first one. I tried again. I watched it again too.
I didn't remember you not liking
were you like at the he gave it like a 3, but were you at like the same?
Yeah, I think it made the first one better compared to the second one, but I mean, it's still my rating's still the same on that one. But this one, not good. Dan, go ahead. Now you rate it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a very generous 2 because it is below average and it doesn't deliver what it promises and doesn't give me anything else to make up for that. So yeah, I'm a 2.
I was tossed up between a 2.5 and a 3. But I think I'm going to give it the 3 just because I still do enjoy going around with this fucked up family. And I forget his name, but the one guy, the bald or the dude with the mohawk and all the tattoos and stuff, he is such a good fucking actor. I love watching him in this movie. And I hope
they kind of made him a bitch in a way, though.
In this one, but still, anytime he's on screen, just his facials and everything, it's great. He had like my favorite scene in the first movie is when after he takes that chick's legs off and puts in the meat grinder, he like duct tapes his mouth and starts suffocating himself like a total lunatic. Like he wasn't that crazy in this one, no. But he was he's still good. But at the I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. But definitely first one a lot better. And if you're a gore hound, this is probably going to disappoint you. But if you did like the first one and you like the family as, you know, the villains, you'll still have a good enough time spending a little time with them in this. Just don't expect them to be at their peak craziness.
Yeah, the niece character is hot, so it's got that going for it, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I'm okay if we don't get a third one. All right.
So I don't get to rate it now, Dan?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you did, Todd. Go ahead.
I'm a 1.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I couldn't give it anything higher.
All right. So our final movie of the evening, coming from Australia, is Bad Girl Boogie from director Alice Mayo McKay. And this one, Halloween blood is shed by the wearer of a parasitic mask cursed with black magic and bigotry. Angel's friend is killed by a person wearing the same mask. They must overcome their struggles, fight fear, find the killer before he slaughters everyone. Okay, so we've got a lot of haunted mask movies out there, and this is sort of focuses on a group of trans and queer kids that are dealing with this situation. And other than that, though, there's not a whole lot different about it. It's just cursed mask passed around. I thought the actors in this also very good. It's rare on an almost all slasher show where I don't have major issues with any of the cast. I thought Lisa Fanto plays Angel, the lead in this. I thought she was really good.
Dan, be careful
I
with your
didn't.
pronouns. They.
Oh, Lisa Fanto. I'm not sure. But
That's
yes,
what I'm saying. Just go that way, Dan.
Yes. Lisa Fanto is really good in this, and it's well made. It's just there's a lot of pacing issues in this. I think the director Alice has I believe this might be the feature film debut. I could be wrong. I know there's a lot of other shorts. Yeah, I could be wrong on that. I think some other shorts. I've heard of this director. This is, I think, the first film I've seen.
So Vam is another film, not a short.
Okay.
Boys Night. She did a segment in an anthology.
Yeah, there's a lot that I feel like made around the same time. But it feels like a young filmmaker. Let's just put it that way, because there's a lot of pacing issues, overly long music montages, and I like the characters, but I don't know the story. I don't know. There is a little bit of gore in this one, though. Like, that's one thing surprisingly I will say for it. It's well, I can't say it's gorier than What the Waters Left Behind, but I wasn't expecting anything much from this. So at least there's a few gory bits, but nothing to write home about. So once again, this is a slasher show that's not going to please the gore.
Yeah, this is well, almost all slasher, almost slasher on some of them. I liked the group of kids. I think, and I know I messaged you while I was watching. I was like, I think the fact that we had an all British, or there was an Australian group of people, that I don't know if it was American, it feels like it would have just been hitting you in the face and trying. This was just, it is who we are, and we're making a movie. That was it. It didn't feel like it. If it was American, it'd become a whole thing. I liked it. People are people. Just make the fucking movie, and that's what they did. And early filmmaker. You're right, though. I mean, I'm curious what we get next. So,
yeah, I think this is a case where a little more experience, tightening it up a bit. It's always hard to say with some of the music stuff. It's like, if you're not into the music, maybe that's part of the problem, but it's just, I don't know. There were a few points where I felt like, even though this is like 80 minutes, you could have tightened it up a little, just because we're not really doing anything here. But it's solid enough that I think it might be worth a watch. And, but it's a very familiar story, other than,
No, I was gonna say, we're gonna sound like a broken record when it comes to slashers at this point, because it's almost always a familiar story. It's like hard not to be at this point.
Yeah, and I felt like there could have been a little bit more of a twist here.
I agree.
That's the other thing. I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's kind of obvious. I don't know. It needed to stand out a little bit more, but it's great seeing representation here. A lot when we did a show, well, not we, this would have been me and I think this was me and Jennifer on specifically, like,
so not on our program.
No, this would have been horror theater radio, I think, way back. And it was me and Jen, and I think we were doing like gay and lesbian themed slasher films she wanted to do. And I remember one called Hellbent, just to throw one out there that is halfway decent. And I would throw that out there if you're looking for a gay themed slasher film. That one's pretty solid. Not a gory film either, from what I remember, but I'd say check that one out. This as it is, I mean, yeah, I like the cast. I will watch something else from Alice for sure, because I think there's some talent there. Just needs a little more work, but it's still solid enough that I give it a 2.5.
I'm a little higher because I think it is just a little bit above average. I don't know if this is because of our lineup today, but I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay, cool. And what's up, Zombie, in the chat? Can you post scores and movies review? I guess we could start putting those in the comments after if I can remember to do it, Zombie. But good to see
or
you.
Or Dan could just start a letterbox and do what everyone else already does.
Yeah,
hey, Zombie, do you have a letterbox?
Zombie.
Why don't you get on Discord more, Todd?
I am. Have I not?
He was talking today on there.
Okay, not.
And you know who else is in that motherfucker? I don't know if he's posted yet, but Ozzy's in there now too.
Oh, is he?
He is.
He asked me for the invitation link yesterday.
Well,
he hasn't joined yet.
Well, I apparently not. Oh, you know.
Well, yeah, it like sends a little notification.
Well, he has the link. He asked for it specifically.
Well, cool.
Well, when he joins, you tell him his hair looks lovely. And
why wouldn't you just tell him? Why do I need to tell him?
Everybody needs to tell him.
I'll go add a Roman Reigns emoji to the chat.
Yes, please. Yes. Add a bunch of them.
I was telling Dan, I'll screw it. I'll say it on the air. We need a Patreon room for our Patreons on there now too. Then I can just message them in there.
I don't think you can make a room
like I can't. You won't be able to make like a room where it's just the patrons, but I can make a section.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know. I just hear.
I mean, you can
just fucking just send me the message, and I can fucking post it as a news thing.
Yeah, but if it's only for Patreon.
Yeah, but I mean the patrons don't. I mean, what is it secret?
We'll talk later.
I get what you're
secret time
voting and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, join our Discord. Our Discord's very, very active, and it's active at all times of the day. So
and Dan wants to shame me, but like, hey Dan, how much of the editing do you do for the show?
I just said I'm not.
How much of the graphics you do for the show?
I would be interested.
Okay, then shut the fuck up, Dan.
You need to teach me the way of the graphics time.
You know the problem with that, Dan, is you never want to do anything for me because if you screw
I will do it.
Do you not remember when you were trying to untangle cords at XPW and how frustrated I got?
Oh my god.
That wasn't me.
It was you and
Luigi.
That was
there not was the me.
Point. You both came together to try to do it. And
I did not do any chords with Luigi. You're mixing me up.
Damn, you just like
name dropped him.
You just said Luigi, you son of a bitch. I said his fucking name. You said his fucking name right before.
You're turning into fucking Cool Duder. I heard the high pitchedness.
I am. I'm morphing into Cool Duder. I'm gonna
you got to take your hat off.
Find you at Walmart and beat the shit out of you with the steelbook, motherfucker.
Kruger, what are we doing next on Patreon?
Yeah, so if you're a part of our Patreon, we will be having a post-show / me and Todd have to edit a fucking wrestling promo, so I figure it'll be cool to let you guys look behind the scenes while we're doing all that shit. So if you want to watch that, go sub to our Patreon, patreon.com/fleshwoundfeatures. Starts at just $1. We'll be on there once we're off air. Yeah, in a little bit, and watch how I devise my wrestling promos with fucking producer Todd over there.
Oh, okay.
See, this has been okay. They do Oh, there. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You can read
Ben Grimm said they have a way to do tiered rooms in Discord. I've seen that in other Discords. Okay, well, Ben, if you fucking figure it out, let me know. I'll look into it.
Kruger, this one, Kruger goes, "What do you do, Ben?"
Yeah, start yelling at Ben. Tell him he fucked up the chords with Luigi too, because he fucked up. I don't fuck up.
Oh my god, I'm telling you, it was good. I was on like blood thinners that day. Those two would have killed me.
All right, well, I think that's all we got for tonight. It's been a lively show. We've gone from talking about missing submarines to sexually transmitted diseases to horror.
And you know what I didn't mention?
Multiple sexually transmitted diseases.
I got Avatar, but I know before you shit on it, it's the 3D Blu-ray. I have to support what U.S. releases we get. Even though it was on the movie, I was going to buy the goddamn 3D Blu-ray.
Isn't it supposed to be like 75 years till we get the next one again? Like,
I don't know, but look at the spine. Who fucking does that on the spine? God damn it.
That's stupid. That's stupid.
I mean, Cameron, at least last time on Elite, had the pull to get all 3 discs in one version.
All I got to say is put fucking True Lies out on 4K, Cameron. Come on.
You know, and by the time it's out, I'm not even going to care. I have it on digital at least, so there's that.
Well, yeah, but I still want a physical of True Lies. It's like, what the fuck? Nobody cares about your stupid Avatar movie. Just get fucking True Lies on 4K and then you can retire.
Well, more people are that and The Abyss. The Abyss is the one that gets a lot too.
I'm not a huge Abyss guy. I'm due a rewatch of that because it's been a long time.
That one, the biggest thing with that one is it's in desperate need of a remaster. That's the biggest thing with that one.
Yeah.
While True Lies is in need of one because of the style of movie it is and more of a pure just action movie, it doesn't like have that look of The Abyss, which you know the effects and but
sure, it's the better movie, I think.
All right.
Yeah. But we don't have a Blu-ray either, though. That's the thing. It's like, give us a fucking, give us a fucking.
There's Blu-rays. Just I think the Spanish one was the opportunity.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing American, which is That's just because Fox was the one waiting. We didn't know. Well, Disney still has to hold his hand too, so whatever. But let's get out of here so we can do our other stuff. Come on Patreon.
All right, guys. Come in our Patreon, patreon.com/fleshwoundfeatures.
God damn it.
And where be safe, don't get an STD, and good night for now. See you on Patreon.
Good evening.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
And don't fuck up chords, which I didn't do.
You totally did it, Dan.
Luigi did it, not me.
You are a fucking